Good afternoon, everybody. Well, that was a great introduction, the man from Amsterdam. I like that. We probably all had a chance to get acquainted over lunch, but before I get started and talk to you about my recent holiday to France, that's what I'm talking to you about today, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. Do you all know the person you're sitting next to? Yeah? Oh, that's lots of yes. Well, then this should be an easy one. What I would like you to do next is close your eyes for me. Just 10 seconds, and think about the last holiday that you had. Do you all have a picture in mind? All right, now turn to the person that you already know, and if you can then take a minute and summarize that holiday for me. Go. Come on. Well, that's wow. You know what? You just keep talking. All right. Thank you very much. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Oh my God. Wrap it up. I was expecting the exact opposite, to be honest. So this is great. Well, thank you very much. I want to pose another question here. Who's working with the DMO here? Show of hands. Yeah, destination marketing organizations, that's a lot of you. Then I would like to ask you a question. What is it that you sell? What's your product? France. And what do you sell from France? What is it you're selling specifically? The experiences. Wow. Okay, I don't have to ask any more questions because that's exactly the answer I was looking for. You sell as a destination experience, and as you've just proven to yourselves, you tell stories to each other about the experiences that you have in a destination. And I think that's a point that we've heard in the previous presentations as well. So what I would like to do now is I would like to tell you about my past ski holiday from last week. Since I've graduated from university, there's a group of 6 friends, and every year we take a ski trip. Same this year, we went on our yearly ski trip. The way we start usually is that we get online and we look at blogs and we Google a little bit and where should we go next, and there's all this inspiration that's just coming at you, trying to figure out where should we go now. We're always trying to do something new. In the end, it's all just a bit mind-boggling how much there is. So we turn to this guy. This is Rick, one of our good friends. He's a doctor. He fixes bones, so it's a very good person to have on your ski holiday. But he also knows everything about every single ski resort in Europe. He knows how many slopes there are, how many kilometers, how many blue, how many red, where you can go in the backcountry skiing. He knows everything. So all our researching, in spite of all our researching, he usually tells us where we're going. So again, this year he said, we need to go to Val d'Isère. There's not a lot of beginners there. It's great skiing, good snow this year. So we're going to France. So we did. Then always comes the question how to get there, where to stay. How to get there is never really a question for us because we always drive. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. And over the years, the cars have gotten bigger and the journey's gotten more comfortable. So again, this year, not in question, we're driving. Next point, where to stay. We're not there very often because we're either out skiing or having beers. So we're kind of looking for a cheap place. And even though we put it up to a vote, even though this wasn't my first pick, this is the place we were going to. We went on the website, and I didn't like the website experience very much. It was very clunky. I couldn't see a map of where I was. But you know what? It's a democracy. So I said, there we go. And then the real fun starts, when there's like 4 months to go and the anticipation is building. We probably all have a WhatsApp group with all the holidays you go on and like, oh, is there sun? Is there snow in this case? So for 3-4 months, we're kind of building the excitement. Like this. And then the week before the trip, you have to get ready because you're going by car, you have to pick up luggage, and one car is departing from there, another car is departing from there, and then by then I'm already thinking like, oh man, why are we driving each year? This is such a hassle. I wish I would have taken a flight. It's probably not that much more expensive. So when I get closer to the trip, like I'm dreading the journey. And what do you know? I was entirely right. I'm one of those people in the red Dodge Charles show at the Central Station because I hate going by train. And even more so, I don't know if you've noticed, but Dutch people don't know how to stand on an escalator. They pick a spot and like, okay, this is mine. You try and get past me. And living in Canada for a year and a half, it's a world of difference, so this annoys me a great deal. So not very fun for me. And as you've probably noticed, I have a little bit of length on me. So squeezing yourself in the back of a Volkswagen Polo for 12 hours is not really a fun thing to do. But that's what you do because you're driving. And all this time I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish I would have paid that 150 euros more for that flight. And I'm just not enjoying myself. But we're getting closer to the snow. And we have the keys to the apartment, and we're about to put the key in the lock of the apartment thinking like, oh, we're gonna get the great mattresses that they talked about and the fireplace. And oh, I can't wait to get into a bed. And then that happened. The beds were tiny, or I'm just really big, I don't know. There was no fireplace that we got promised. The lounge area that was supposed to be huge and big was one very uncomfortable chair. So yeah, after our travel, it started a little bit in disappointment, but you're on holiday, so you shouldn't whine too much. And the next day we got up, got our ski passes, and had a nice friendly chat with a lady who sold us our ski passes. And then, yeah, the fun starts. You're sitting in that lift, and this was one of the slow ones. They were still replacing a lot of the lifts. So we were sitting there, and it's not holiday season, so no screaming kids anywhere. First lift up, it's blue, it's sunshine, and we're really feeling it. Like, yeah, finally we're gonna go and ski. And what do you know? Exactly, it was clear blue skies, sunshine. It was just, if you love skiing, this is the place to go. It was a dream. After a full day of skiing, what do? You go drink a, very good. We go drink a beer, so do we. We talked to I was telling you before, I was talking to the lady who sold our ski passes. She said, there's a place, La Folie Douce on the slopes, and that's just the place you got to be there. So I was like, oh, all right, well, we'll go and see what that's all about. Not my kind of place. It was loud commercial house music and people bumping into each other and 12 euro beers. I don't know, there must be gold in that beer, but it's so damn expensive. And all that time I was just thinking, I wish I could just talk to my friends a little bit. We don't speak each other very often, so this wasn't my kind of place. Rick, the guy I was showing you, he's single, so he loved this very much because there's a lot of beautiful girls walking around there. But it wasn't my kind of place. I wanted to talk to my friends. So what we did after a couple of beers are always good. So we skied down, and then we found this place. And as you can see, there's nobody there. It was really quiet. The friendly owner who came to us shook our hand. Where are you guys from? He chatted with us. And we actually got to sit down and talk to each other about what's happening in our lives. When we left to pay the bill, the owner was so kind to offer us some shots, which is, of course, very welcome. Next thing, after a couple of beers, you need to eat. And since I'm the foodie, Aaron already told me I'm the resident chef, I like to cook. I love food, so I went on TripAdvisor already in the car. You need to do something in that 12 hours. And I figured out exactly which restaurant I needed to go to. So we got to the restaurant, and there it is. This is one of the best steaks I ever had. It was swimming in melted duck liver, and oh, beautiful. So this was again a great experience after our drinks. And after we were done eating, we still wanted another drink. I don't know why, but we wanted another drink. And of course, we went to that place again. The owner was so friendly, we just wanted to go back. It was great. And After that, all a little bit drunk, we went back to bed again, which wasn't that bad this time because we were a little bit drunk. Next day followed more skiing, and so forth the whole week. And after a week of skiing, it was sad. We had to leave. But again, but also, I'm always, mixed emotions when I leave a holiday, because I like to get home as well. I like where I live. I get to see my girlfriend again. So, mixed emotions there. And now I've told you this story. What I wanted to do is show you the moments in my story and the emotions that I had while experiencing the moments in my story. This is the booking. It's always fun, inspirational, go online. Then the booking experience, not a very good website. Anticipation, building. And then the travel experience, which it goes down from there. But we're going skiing, that's what we're here for. More skiing. Beer, kind of a neutral experience because beer is always good, no matter where it is. And then the great place with the French owner who was really friendly to us and gave us shots. Great dinner, more drinks, sleeping, not so bad this time. More skiing, and then leaving on a high note, and also happy to go home. So you'll see, what you see here is that my whole week, my whole journey exists of a couple of moments in the destination. What I also did during my trip, and this wouldn't come as a surprise, and we've already heard that before of all the other presentations, I shared my stories during my trip. I posted on Facebook how beautiful the view was. I posted on Instagram how beautiful the view was. I let everybody know that they really had to go to that steak place on TripAdvisor. So I shared my positive stories. As you've heard, there's also a couple negative ones. I gave the Folly Do's a very bad review on TripAdvisor. I hope nobody goes there ever again. And I shared myself on the bed. So I shared positive and negative stories. And there we go. I was not the only one. This was at La Folie Douce. You have to do something. This was literally taken in 1 minute. I looked around me, and everywhere there are people taking photos, holding up their GoPro cameras, making videos, sharing those stories with their friends, going on WhatsApp, on Twitter, letting people know where they are, probably just as me, going on TripAdvisor, seeing where to go next for dinner. And this was in 1 minute, but the whole week people were glued to their phone, just letting everybody know I'm here now. Look at this beautiful snow, sharing their stories with each other all throughout their trip. And that's exactly what I did and what you guys just did in talking to each other. If you remember how I started my inspiration, I went online to get inspired by good content, Googling, looking at websites and TripAdvisor reviews and so on. I made my decisions of going to the restaurant by going on TripAdvisor, again, online, getting recommendations from people just like me. So what I'm trying to say here is that word of mouth really is everything. And combined with online, you've got something really, really powerful. And knowing that word of mouth happens from the beginning to the very, very end, getting inspired all throughout their trip, people sharing stories, talking to each other, Rick telling us where to go. It happens all throughout the trip. Isn't it then interesting to think that a lot of DMOs still spend all their resources in the inspirational stage there, and on those two red dots. With all the stuff you could do, there's still so much happening out there. So, are we really doing the right things? Or is there something else that we could do? I wouldn't be standing here if we couldn't. So, yeah, there's definitely something else we could do. If we can focus on getting to know exactly how the way people interact with your destination, your visitors interact, if you can have 100% empathy with them and understand why they do what they do, you can then improve the entire destination experience and create positive word of mouth. And when I say 100% empathy, I don't mean the target groups in the traditional kind of way. Like my friend Rick and I on paper, we're exactly the same person. 30 to 35, no kids, good job, living in Amsterdam. We're like a traditional target group. But when you look at us in the Folie Douce, he loved it, I hated it. So think about that. It's about the motivations, why people do what they do in your interactions. What are they thinking while interacting? What are they feeling while interacting? And to really get that understanding is what you need to provide the best experience possible, and therefore create positive word of mouth. The way to do that, because there's always a way to do that, one is measure and monitor the experience. A way that Val d'Isère did it, everywhere where you had like nothing to do for a while, standing on the ski bus, waiting in line for the lift, they would have these posters that would tell you, go to our website, you'll get give us your email address and you can fill out a questionnaire and get your ski pass reimbursed. I did that. That was a 30-minute questionnaire asking me exactly those questions. What kind of experience did you have? Why did you like it? Why are you in Val d'Isère? And these answers can be vastly different. Like some people go out there to drink and ski for an hour. Other people go to ski for a whole day. So really getting an understanding of your visitor, the kind of person that comes to your destination, is the first step in getting that 100% empathy. With the input you gather from that, what you can do is you can create your own customer journeys. This is what they call a customer journey. You can map out exactly how a visitor moves through your destination and how they interact with your destination. And what you can do next with those two snippets of information, you can start drawing conclusions and see opportunities to improve the experience. And that can be different for every destination. What I've showed you here is a very personal example. So this will look totally different for your destination and for somebody else than myself. If you look at my map, for instance, I start looking for inspiration on my computer. Another thing that we've established throughout this presentation is that I share positive and negative stories. Word of mouth is everything. Why not combine the two and inspire me through word of mouth? We've already seen tons of good examples this morning, Alberta being one of them. Their next campaign is 100% user-generated content. Then they use the content that affects me most, which is content from people just like me, to do their marketing, to do their inspiration. Support better planning is another thing that jumps at me when I look at this graph. I had a terrible experience traveling here in these three images. What if Val d'Isère, when I was booking, had a widget or an app that could show me what the difference was in flying and driving, both in dollars or in euros and in hassle that it would cost me? A company that's already doing that very, very well is Disney. If you purchase a ticket for Disney, you can, before you go, say which ride you want to go on, when, what you want to eat in a restaurant, and you can load it all on your wristband, and there's nothing else you have to do anymore. You don't have to wait in line, you don't have to get out your credit card. So they're very good at finding solutions to help their visitors to better plan. And what you also could do, and this is referring to the small bed, is you can make industry aware of that they're part of this, they're part of the journey. They need to deliver the experience. And go talk to Heidi, because Arena USUS has just a program like that that focuses on getting their partners and their industry deliver a great experience so people are happy in the destination. Sharing on trip. Remember I was sitting in that ski lift. That's an empty ski pole. Why not put a hashtag on there? For instance, and there's lots of examples. Like, you're probably cold up there. You've probably seen the gloves as well with the two fingers that you can touch your phone with. Give everybody at the bottom of the lift a pair of these gloves so they can share your pictures and don't get cold hands. Isn't that cool? And this is probably a good example of a destination that's already unintentionally doing this. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Support travelers in real time. is another thing that we can conclude from this graph. I had a terrible experience in La Folie Douce. I had a great experience in that other place. What if I would have known before? What if I could have tweeted to Val d'Isère and they would have answered my question and said, well, Thomas, listening to you, that's probably not the place for you. Destination that's already doing that really, really well is Visit England, who basically took their visitor center online and through Twitter accounts of their partners in the regions, helped their visitors on the ground in real time making travel decisions. Last one, and that's referring to my happy/sad moment, which isn't really an emotion. How could Val d'Isère have made that better? How could they have maintained the relationship with me? They could have asked me for my email address in exchange for my Wi-Fi password. That would give you 100% visitors that's already been, and they could market to me. Or they could try and make an advocate out of me. And I've got a great example here from Destination British Columbia, who on this occasion sent a Danish Instagrammer who traveled through BC for a couple weeks and used the hashtag throughout. They sent her a printed photo book with all her photos in there. And you probably can't read it now, but she's praising everybody that works at Destination BC up and down for this. And she's probably going to pull out this book at every party that she goes to. So build advocacy is another thing that you can do at the end of the trip to fix that experience. And now I hear you thinking, I don't own the destination experience. That's not up to me. I have to inspire people. I have to make them book. So what is it to me? How can I fix a bed? How can I make sure the chef cooks his steak really, really well? Well, the thing is you can't do it alone. And that's the whole point of it. You need to own a 100% collaborative process with your stakeholders and involve them in all of this, because if you have them participate, what you do is you'll allow them to take a step back and look at the total visitor experience, and they will get out of their silos and out of their role if you manage that process well and look at everything holistically. And during that process, you will see that you'll get lots of discussion about what it is visitors do. You will create shared reference and build a shared idea of where you need to go to fix that destination experience, to make it better. So for DMOs, really, key is to own and lead your stakeholders and partners through that process, because that's the only way you will get you will be able to fix the destination experience if you involve everybody that's involved in it. So, yeah, there's definitely something else you could do besides advertising. You can lead your stakeholders and partners through a collaborative process where you focus on the holistic destination experience with positive word of mouth as an outcome. And that process, which is equally important to the outcome of the process, because the examples I showed you, they're going to be different for your destination. And these are just some examples. So the process to get there, together with your stakeholders, together with the outcome that you'll see to innovate, that's what we call service design thinking. Thank you.